Welcome back to this Let's Play of The Last Remnant. Last time we got orders from Agent David to go to the city of Nagapur for a very important meeting, but instead of that we're going to do a lot of side quests. We've been putting off the side quests because, well, none of them expire yet, and now we have access to 12 characters, which is the highest number you're going to have available until you go to the Nest of Eagles, and once you get to the Nest of Eagles, all of these side quests, well, not all of them, but a lot of these side quests disappear. So it's important to do these sooner rather than later, but doing them too soon doesn't really get you anything. Here in Melfina, just to the right of the entrance, we find a Book of Remembrance. I'm sure that's important for something. Actually, it is important for something very specific, which is that first side quest we're going to do involves a character who's just going to be a placeholder, but he's a useful placeholder. We'll say hi to Emmy, just, you know, for the sake of saying hi. And the other thing we have to do here is go into the hub to talk to Pagus. Well, actually, for Pagus to have a conversation, and then for us to have a conversation with Pagus. And apparently one of Pagus's old friends here is, and they reminisce about, you know, their school days, and they talk about a remnant. And apparently one of their other friends saw the Arco Iris, or is it Acro Iris? Arco Iris in Spanish is rainbow. And so that would probably be what it's supposed to be, but you have to go through that conversation, and then you can say, well, you don't actually accept the quest here. You just have to talk to Pagus to set it up, and then it appears in Royosha. So we are going to go to Royosha soon enough. But in order to complete that quest, we're going to need to have a couple of party members with Vivification Herb, because the enemy that you fight for that quest spams a lot of instant death attacks. And this Palace of Melfina opens up. There are a lot of other side quests we can do in Melfina, but I'm not going to do them just yet. That book is the first part of what we were looking for. The next part of that quest is here on the Southwestern Road. We've been to the Southwestern Road on our way to Baltarosa before. There's actually another way to get to Baltarosa involving a side quest in... oh hey, it's a rock. They're a... well, I don't know, standard. They're an enemy type. And they're actually sort of unusual, and I'm actually half tempted to fight that one just for the sake of doing it. But here by the side of the road is a Bandana of Remembrance. So there's a second of 3 remembrance items. Now, if you remember what we were sort of faced with the last time we were here, there were some fairly different enemies here. Yeah, you know, there's just randomness as to which enemy types spawn. I'm not going to fight any of them right now, but we're just going to head on through. Oh, I don't have that map yet. There's also a dig point I want to try and hit while I'm here, assuming I can do so without getting attacked 16,000 times. A lot of my party members are asking for iron ore, and there's a dig point for iron ore here. Specifically, here.
Come on out! Okay, later.
I'll finish this off screen. Alright, now that we have that, we're gonna run for our lives! Go. Well, I'll load the save, and I'll just do that off screen. We're just leaving the map. Those are the easy 2 parts of the quest. The last part is a little more complicated, and I should have done this earlier, but oh well, we're a little out of word. To do it, you need to go back here to Melfina and accept another quest. Now, unfortunately, you can't get through this easily, you have to actually complete 2 quests. Well, I guess you don't have to complete one, you just have to start it. But, first things to do is you need to talk to this Knight of Malfina here in the bar. And more or less he wants help with something. And he says to talk to Roberto. Okay, well, at the Order of Malfina, well, presumably at the palace. And more or less he wants us to clear out some stuff in Crookfen. This is part of a 3-quest chain, and the 3rd quest, well, you have to complete all 3 quests a particular way in order to get access to a later quest, though that later quest is not that important. And more or less there are 3 places you have to go on the map, and you get Roberto's union as a, well, you get him alone as a guest union. Now, he's not as tragic as, that's not as tragic as it might sound, because Roberto does have just boatloads of hit points, but I need to set up my own unions, so I'll do that off screen. Alright, just to show you my setup here, I have 3 unions, 2 of whom are melee, or sort of physical attack unions, and one of which is a mystic attack union.
Am I doing my father proud?
For the mystic attack union, I have all of their physical attacks disabled, except I forgot Dave's. And Nora here does have a mystic attack, and she can kind of switch between the 2. I'm having her fill a spot in the physical attack union just because, well, that's what I have available. In short, this quest is just 3 fights, 2 of which are fairly simple, one of which can be kind of annoying, but, you know, nothing too impressive. This is the ruler of mystic arts. I think he's the hardest of the 3, but I could be wrong. Now, as with all of them, they multi-deadlock, so I'm actually going to have Rush's group stand back and have my 2 other groups charge in. The reason I'm having Rush's group stand back is because I don't want Rush's group to, well, I guess that didn't work. He caught me. The reason why I want Rush's group separate is because that's the only group that can raise fallen unions, and so if they get killed, then I don't have any way of getting people back. Eventually we'll have, you know, more than one group that can do that, but wow. As I mentioned, it's we do need ways to deal with that. Fortunately, Roberto is a bit of a house, so I'm not actually sure what Surefire does. Maybe it just failed. It'd be sort of ironic if it was called Surefire and it failed, but we have to break deadlock to resurrect people. Oh, good. Roberto's just acting as a tank. That's always handy. The only sort of downside to using Vivification Herb is that it's expensive, but because of the way the game works with sorry, I'm thinking about what I'm doing rather than what I'm because of the way the game works with harvesting, you have, you know, essentially infinite money if you need it. Right. That merry-go-round attack is really annoying because it hits all of your party. And, well, they didn't die this time. That's good. That spin attack can actually hit multiple party members, depending on sort of how they are set up. All right. Oh well, so much for that group. I'll have to resurrect him again. I'll have to resurrect Roberto, too. Yeah, it's good practice using herbs because, well, we're gonna need it. Well, Rush has Omni Strike available, but I'm actually not gonna use it at this point. That's one less group to worry about. Fortunately, this Ruler of Mystic Arts, I mean, the main thing that keeps him from being really annoying is that he uses a lot of sort of ineffective spells. And so he kind of wastes turns sometimes. I'm just so curious what Surefire is supposed to do, because it doesn't seem to have done anything yet. Surefire failure, maybe, I guess. Now this command, clear those ailments, is having Pogus use Rejuvenate to clear off the Provoke gave a defense down to one of my party members, so I actually would have preferred that he healed, but, you know, take what you can get. It takes 4 unions to flank this guy, but we have 4 unions, so... That was actually some good damage for once. Now, side attack sometimes comes up. That, if you use that ability, and then the union remains at least deadlocked, you automatically get a flanking attack. But it doesn't matter, he's dead.
Sweet! I know I'm good.
I must grow stronger. For the glory of Athlum!
And we get a bunch of, you know, stuff. But I think that's the only fight we're going to be able to fit in this episode, so see you next time for some more clearing of the Crookfen.